Hello and welcome to Zurich main station, the biggest railway station in Switzerland. From here you can get on local, national and international trains. And today we are catching an intercity train that goes to Germany, even though we won't be going there. We will leave the train in Schaffhausen, right in the north of Switzerland by the border with Germany. And here we are on our train, just speeding past Bulach, on the outskirts of Zurich, where we can see some push-pull trains from the S-Bahn Zurich, the RE 450, also known as DPZ, built between 1989 and 1997 and refurbished between 2011 and 2018. After leaving Zurich behind, lots of green from the fields and forests and the occasional village that we pass non-stop. A bit cloudy today, but a hot summer day after some very rainy weeks, making it an ideal day for a trip. Right before arriving in Schaffhausen, in the village of Neuhausen am Rheinfall, walk a right to get a look at Europe's largest waterfalls, the Rhine Falls. As I told you before, we had some very rainy weeks before this video was recorded, and the amount of water passing through the waterfalls was simply spectacular. Next week's video will be a visit to these waterfalls, so don't forget to subscribe and press the notification button so that you don't miss that video. I have new videos every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Europe, 5 p.m. UK time. Arriving in Schaffhausen, we are greeted by this Interregio Express Class 612 from Deutsche Bahn that arrived from Singen and will make its way to Basel-Bad station. The station is right in the center of the city, which is very convenient if you come by train. The first reference to the town dates back to 1045 and it became a member of the Old Swiss Confederacy in 1501. The old town has lots of shops and restaurants, some more traditional than others, where I'm sure everyone will find something they like. As you will have a chance to see, the old town has many Renaissance-era buildings decorated with frescoes that make a visit even more interesting. Some of these buildings really stand out, just look at these beautiful frescoes and adorned balconies. The city is located right in the north of Switzerland and is surrounded to the north, east and west by Germany. Due to this proximity, on the 1st of April 1944, it suffered the bombing raid from the United States Army Air Force caused by a mistake of navigation. 40 civilians were killed and President Roosevelt himself sent a letter of apology and the United States paid $4 million in reparations. It's estimated that 50 B-24 planes dropped about 400 incendiary and demolition bombs over the city, destroying large parts of it. Many Swiss started painting the white cross of the Swiss flag on their roofs after this, as a way of being more easily identified by planes. As in most Swiss towns, you find these traditional fountains, always with flowers hanging from them and usually a statue at the top. This is the Haus zum Ritter, or the House of the Knight in English. It was originally built in 1492, 2 floors added in 1566, and the original frescoes installed between 1568 and 1570. These are considered to be the most important frescoes north of the Alps. The paintings you see here are not the originals though. Due to their importance, they were removed and are exhibited in the museum zu Allerheiligen. What you see here are copies made in 1938-39 and 1943 by Karl Roche based on the originals. Leaving the city center, we head to what is probably the biggest tourist attraction in Schaffhausen, the Munot. And what is the Munot, you may ask? Well, it's a circular-shaped fortification built in the 16th century, one of the best examples from the transition from a castle to a modern fortress. It's located on the top of a hill, of course, and you get there by climbing these stairs. You can go up by car, but it's less fun. We can see a part of the city walls that were connected to the Munot. The family climbed slowly but steady to the top, some having more energy than others. Almost at the top, you already have an idea of the views towards the old part of the city and the rooftops. Having climbed all the stairs, 277 to be exact, you're rewarded with the view of the Munot itself and its moat. Of great importance as an obstacle, this one was never filled with water due to its location. As a curiosity, it has a colony of deers that live here permanently. And in no time we're at the bridge that grants us access inside. Sorry for the image quality not being great, but the camera doesn't do very well in low light situations. Inside you have this massive room called the Casemate. Impressive by its dimensions, it has a 4-meter thick ceiling supported by 9 pillars, with light entering by 4 circular shafts. This room is many times used for concerts and theater performances. From the arrow slits, we can get a peek towards the Rhine river. Before leaving, make sure to climb this ramp for the best view of the city and its surroundings. Arrived at the top, you're in this circular kind of terrace where you have tables and benches if you want to take a break. The view of the Rhine and the city makes this a mandatory place to visit and enjoy while you take a break from all the walking and climbing. From up here, you also have a privileged view of the tower where the Munot guard lives. And for the first time in centuries, the guard is a woman. The role of the guard used to be one of surveillance, to prevent attacks and fires, and also to ring the bell for 15 minutes at 9 p.m. exactly, after which the city gates were closed and everyone had to go home. Nowadays, the guard still rings the bell at 9 p.m., but only for 5 minutes. After enjoying the views, we went down the spiral ramp and got out by the second door, the one that exits the building by the vineyards that belong to the city and produce Pinot Noir and Pinot Gris wines. One last view of the tower and the defensive walls of the city, and it's time to return to the train station. But the surprises were not over for the day, as we had the chance to see the Red Arrow RAE24 locomotive, also known by the name Churchill because it was the train that transported Sir Winston Churchill in 1946 when he traveled through Switzerland. Nowadays you can rent it to celebrate a birthday or a company event. For a group of 80 people, you can expect to pay something around 12,000 Swiss francs, food included, and a 3.5 round trip departing from Zurich. Not for everyone, but what a beauty and privilege to make this trip. It's all for this video, thank you for watching and I will see you next week. Goodbye!